Now, of course, with that One Nation surge, and again, I am part of those that are going to need to be won back because, like many people in my generation, I am sick of the way that centre-right politics has been run for some time. I, like most, would like to see a major shake-up in the Senate, and this is not a new position. I've been saying this to you since, 2016? When Malcolm Turnbull was the one who broke the Liberal Party, yes, I saw a need for Liberal governments downstairs, but certainly I want you to well and truly vote your heart in the Senate, and given the position of One Nation at the moment, that can be the ultimate win for them. So even if their polling, which is mid-20s, went to the high teens, that would still be enough for them to lock in Senate seats right around the country. But for Barnaby Joyce, the plan was for him to be running as the lead Senate candidate in New South Wales because, of course, at the last election, they were able to win a seat. So New South Wales is pretty good ground at the moment for One Nation. And when you have a look at the current national vote by state, pretty easily you would see at least one senator, maybe two, out of New South Wales, Victoria, which is the most populous state for One Nation. Can you believe that? According to the primary, according to this poll, the single highest area of support for One Nation is in Victoria. In Queensland, Pauline Hanson's on the ballot, but obviously with preferences, she may well be able to get a second person up. And then in the other states, South Australia, Western Australia, Tasmania, it is a more scattered picture about whether it's higher or lower, but you throw the sample from those states and you get to 19%. But of course, Barnaby Joyce is already in the lower house. Barnaby Joyce is the member for New England. He has been re-elected multiple times, whether he was coming down from the Senate, whether he was in government, in opposition, the leader, or up the absolute back of the bus like he was at the last election. We know there's a huge surge in people who have resigned from the National Party in that area, in and around Tamworth. But of course, the plan was to go upstairs. But is Barnaby Joyce going to have to make a choice about whether he becomes the face of the One Nation push in the lower house? Now, we could see as early as Farrer, them being able to be joined by another lower house member. And if that's the case, it may well seal the deal for which way Barnaby Joyce is going to go. I got a feeling he's going to be asked this question a lot more. I told you last week that he opened the door. Well, judge for yourself just how wide that door is when he was talking with LJ this morning here on Sky News.
Why don't you think you could win New England as One Nation?
I think I could, to be honest.
Well, why don't you stay there?
Well, it's, that is because, in the One Nation, I'm going to be part of that process and not start sort of predetermining, what I've got to do. I've got to also do what's best for One Nation.
And that's the choice. Now, there would be an almost guaranteed Senate spot, certainly if the numbers remain the way they do, but of course that vote could fall, and as long as it remains above 15% stated in New South Wales, I'd be pretty confident of being able to win that Senate seat. But if people are looking to send new faces or some maybe defecting faces from the existing coalition, they're going to need to coalesce around somebody, and there couldn't be a person of higher profile for that run in the lower house than Barnaby Joyce. Again, I'm not saying which way he should go. I'm not saying which way I think he will go. But it is going to be an active question. Now, one of the reasons why Barnaby Joyce and others have surged behind One Nation at the organisational level is because new finance laws and new donation laws kick in on July the 1st, meaning the old laws where the old donation system existed means you can continue to give money like you've always been able to give money to parties, but that changes on July the 1st. So I wouldn't be surprised if there's not an announcement before July the 1st. But One Nation, because it doesn't have a lot of corporate support, it needs the big donations to come in between now and July. Yes, it is part of the overall rigging of the system by the major parties and largely by the Labor Party. Remember, the Labor Party is open about having more Senate seats in the territories and potentially even more lower house seats. So watch this space because there's always a lot more beneath the surface. And remember, what you can see from above is just the tip of the iceberg.